All right, we are live. Figured I'd start this a little early, because why not? Thank you for joining me in today's live stream. Today's live stream is going to be a little bit different from the previous ones that I've done. Because it's on this channel. For the last couple of weeks, I've been a guest on other people's live streams, which is fun. Hi, Jessica. Good to see you. Happy to have you here. Woo, live stream. Happy to see you too, Ben. Yay. I'm so happy that you both are here. All right. So this live stream, I'm going to be live drawing some cats. The reason being, I just really want to celebrate something that happened recently in, personal news. So a little context. For the last week, I'll go ahead and shrink down my Clip Studio Paint for a hot second so that you can see my face. So, you dare challenge a god, indeed. How is Scarlet doing? So that is why I wanted to give this update first to let you know how Scarlet was doing. So Jessica already knew, but for those who don't know, my cat Scarlet had to be taken to the vet twice this past week. The first time was just for a preliminary exam, just to see. Sorry, she's sitting on the cat bench over on the side here. I keep checking on her because this is the first time that she's been up and about all day. But I took her to the vet on Tuesday because for the last 4 or 5 days prior to Tuesday, she had been throwing up a lot, at least once a day. And when I was petting her, I noticed that I could feel her hip bones and her chest bones, and that was definitely not normal. So, and I know from, taking care of animals that whenever animals get sick, they do their best to not show it. So if they're showing those kinds of signs, that means it's really, really bad. So I took her to the vet, and I had the vet do a physical just to see what was going on. They tried to get a blood sample, but Scarlet does not like the vet. It's better for her if I'm in the same room as her, but because of the whole COVID-19 thing, the vet stipulated that I not be in the same room with the vets. So Scarlet had to go in by herself to get the exam done. And she did not like that. She does way better whenever I'm in the same room as her because I am her mama. She does better when her mama is in the same room. But they gave her at least a physical. They weren't able to draw blood. So they gave me gabapentin to dose her up so that she could be more relaxed and bring her back in on Thursday so that they could do the blood sample, a radiology exam, an x-ray, and all that stuff. So we did that. She did not like the gabapentin. I have scratch marks right in here. They've healed a little bit, but she scratched me up real good on Thursday morning when I was trying to give her dose. Even when I bundled her up in a little burrito, she still scratched the crap out of me. But she's just, she's spirited. That's what it is. Anyway, so after that, the vet did all those things, and then she said that Scarlet is showing early signs of kidney failure because the kidney's not producing a particular kind of hormone as much as it should. She did prescribe me a medication to help stop the vomiting, which is good. So maybe then Scarlet can actually hold down her food and she can gain some weight back. She is getting some muscular deterioration around her hips. So I've been, she can still jump. It's just, now I know why it is that when she tries to jump into my lap, her back legs will sometimes just and not latch. Ouch. I know. It's just, there's just a lot that this cat is dealing with right now. But she's doing better now. I think the gabapentin has definitely worn off by now because when she had the not like the full dose, but like a good enough dose for cats. She was definitely like out of it. But last couple of days, she's been recovering slowly but surely. She hadn't been as talkative. So when she came up to me at around lunch and she started like vocalizing, I was like, oh, you're back to normal. Because like she hadn't really been vocalizing a whole lot for the last couple of days. But now she's sitting on the little cat bench over on the side off screen here, and she's just watching the birds, and she's still got a little bit of there's something going on with her fur on her chest. I think what it is she tried to groom herself, but there's still a little bit of like mucusy gabapentin residue there, and it feels really sticky. I need to wash her down with a washcloth or something. But she's okay. She's getting better. She's reacting well to the stomach medicine, which is good because she hasn't thrown up. She hasn't thrown up for the last couple of days. And she's holding down food. I gave her wet food, so she's doing much better. We'll see how she does. Vet-wise, we are waiting for the results of the urine sample because they took a urine sample from her and they sent it off to the lab. They're largely just doing the urine sample test just to see if she has like a silent UTI or something going on there, because with her urine sample being the way that it was, they were a bit concerned that she might be showing like signs of a silent UTI, whatever that means. I'm not a vet. But I wanted to do this live stream to A, clue you in on how she was doing, and B, to just draw cats and celebrate Scarlet being alive. Because here's the thing. I'm glad that I took her to the vet, and I'm glad that I got those signs all figured out and everything. But the thing is I was prepared financially for a lot of things, but I was not financially prepared for the vet bills. So I went onto my blog and Facebook, and I just posted an ask, my blog being the website here on the bottom of the screen. But I went online and I just asked for help because I wasn't entirely sure how I could cover the entire bill. I could cover half of it. It would have required some moving around of stuff, but now, because of the fundraiser on Facebook and donations from like patrons and freelance clients and all of that, we can cover her vet bills and have money left over so that I can have Bree Bree go to the vet and still get the food and the medicine that Scarlet still needs, because Scarlet's going to need to change her diet. I heard that there is a special cat food that helps like slow down the signs of kidney disease, so that at least it doesn't get exacerbated. It won't reverse it, it won't cure it, but it'll at least prevent it from getting worse. So I will need to look up that particular kind of food and see about getting that. I'm so glad she feels better. Me too. I was so worried because like I wasn't sure how long she was going to be like dazed and confused and quiet. I think also she could kind of sense that I was worried because Scarlet is surprisingly good at noticing when I'm sad, because whenever I get sad is when she comes up to my feet and she starts like pawing at my leg. And or she'll just lay at the foot of my bed and she'll either wait for me to like lay down for a nap, or she'll just stay there throughout the night as I sleep. Post that donation link. You know what? The best way to, if you wanted to continue supporting Scarlet, you can just go to paypal.me/Kelsey Crawford and make a donation that way, or you can go to Coffee and give a donation that way. I will switch both of those links up. But if you wanted to help support Scarlet and help with getting the special food that she needs, or covering her anti-vomiting medication, or even helping to cover Bree Bree's vet visit, because she's going to need one. This is a good link to go to if you wanted to contribute to that. Coffee.com/Kelsey Crawford or PayPal.me/Kelsey Crawford. Either of those will work. Now, I'm so grateful that there were people who gave and helped with these bills. And I offered in exchange for those people who contributed the most that I would draw commissions for them. And I've had one person take me up on it. Most of the people who donated, bless their hearts, they donated and they were like, don't worry about paying me back or making a commission for me. Just make sure that the cats are taken care of. I have a buddy who did ask me to draw his pet cat, Autumn. So that is what I will be doing for at least this beginning portion of the live stream. Is I will be drawing Autumn the cat. She is, I had the pleasure of meeting her once. She's very skittish. I think she was a former outside cat is what it was. And then she became an inside cat, and she's almost exclusively an indoor cat now. I'm guessing she must have been just, no, I don't remember what the entire story was. Travis, if you're in the comments, leave a comment. Let me know what's the context for why Autumn is an indoor cat now. But he did ask me to draw Autumn the cat. Let me actually, I discovered, because I have a Wacom Intuos Pro tablet. If you press a certain button the right way, you can like increase the size of the brush. And I've discovered a new pencil tool that I absolutely love. I love this pencil tool. Okay. Now, weirdly, I am used to drawing animal caricatures. I'm used to drawing animals because at Cedar Point, where I was a caricature artist, you'd be surprised at the amount of people who will walk up to you and ask you if you could draw their pet for them. Now, that said, it's usually dogs. They usually ask me to draw their dogs. Not sure why dogs more than cats, but I guess there are some people that regard their dogs as children more often than they regard their cats as children, but probably because cats are just so fiercely independent as it is already. Now, the thing about this particular cat is that Autumn, the cat that I'm drawing right now, likes to recline in bathroom sinks. So that is how I am drawing her today, is reclining in the bathroom sink. But I discovered this particular pencil setting on Clip Studio Paint when I was doing some client work earlier this week, and oh my God, I love this pencil setting. It is delightful. Oh, hold on. I'll need to like zoom in and do the eyes. There it is. Make this a little easier. Drink down the brush. Okay. Now that I got that, I can erase these little guidelines here. I'll adjust that face later. I'm not 100% pleased with that. Dogs are their babies. Cats are their sullen teenagers going through a goth phase. You're not wrong, especially if that cat is black like Scarlet is. Scarlet is I love her. She is a black cat, and I appreciate black cats, but she is a very fussy princess. Switch up the link at the bottom of the screen here. There we go. Scarlet, like, I love her. She is my baby. I am her mom, but I am her mom and she is my baby. She does not like other people very, very much. She'll eventually warm up to you, but it will take her a while. Like, it actually took her a long time for her to accept me. There was a stretch of time where Scarlet and Bree Bree did not live with me. They lived with my little sister, Kia, at her house until she left her husband and moved back in with the family, and then she brought the cats with her. And it took the cats a while to get used to me again, because cats, as it turns out, have great short-term memory, not great long-term memory. So it took them a while for them to recognize me. Once they did, though, they got super duper cuddly. At least Bree Bree did. Bree Bree always loved me. Even as a kitten, she always preferred me. Scarlet always preferred Kia. But it wasn't until Kia left again. Because Kia left, I don't remember what year it was, but she left to move out to Arizona to stay with my older sister. At the time, my older sister's husband got deployed and she really needed some company. And so Kia was like, well, I'll go. I'll give company to Kristen, because I had already lived with Kristen. And I was like, I can't move out west again. That just costs too much. So Kia opted to move. There we go. I'm just going to change that up a little bit. There. That looks a little more correct to me for paw proportions. Or paw portions. I'm not sorry. Sipping my tea. Today's mix for tea is, it's a peach. Peach something. It's decaf. It's herbal. After having put up with everything that I've put up with for the last week, I did not want caffeine after noon today. Oh, bless you. Scarlet just sneezed. Oh, she's pondering where she wants to go. Oh, okay. She's going to eat. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Let me just make sure that I got everything correct-ish here. Okay. The sink's an unusual construction. It's like it's got multiple curves. So that's the general shape. Feel free to ask any questions that you would like in the comments. I check back on the comments as often as I can. I'll go ahead and relay this part of Scarlet and Bree Bree's story. They will be 14 years old next month, around the middle of May. We've had them since they were babies, essentially. Like, we adopted them. Like, the typical advice for when to adopt a kitten is when they're about 6 weeks old. We adopted them when they were way younger than that because they were found as newborns in my neighbor's mailbox. Someone in the neighborhood thought that it was a great idea to basically take these newborn kittens and leave them at somebody else's doorstep, mailbox, because I guess they didn't want to deal with kittens. So we don't know who did it. We don't know who Scarlett and Bree Bree's like parents were. We just know that they were found in my neighbor's mailbox along with their brother. They had a brother. His name was Pussy Willow. He got adopted by the neighbor's granddaughter. Unfortunately, though, he died when he was around 8 years old. He just had really bad bones. When we found out about that news, I'm thinking he was 8 years old. He was young when he died, and it made us nervous for Scarlett and Bree Bree because we figured that they came from the same litter, because Pussy Willow was that missing link to indicate that Scarlett and Bree Bree did come from the same litter. Because if you look at them, the only similarity that they have is that they both have yellow eyes. But Pussy Willow, was the connecting factor because Scarlet is a long-haired black cat, Bree Bree is a short-haired gray cat, and Pussy Willow was a long-haired gray cat who looked exactly like them both. Looks kind of like an old-school Disney kitty. Thank you. Still need to fix up the face. Still not 100% pleased with that face. At least I got the sync down. You're ready for CyberCon next weekend? Not really. Also, I found out Wrathicon is having a digital event the same Saturday as CyberCon. If I can play it right, I would like to do both because that's kind of the perk about digital conventions is that if you pull your cards right, you could be in both digital conventions because why not? For CyberCon, I'm going to be going as a digital vendor, so I'm just going to be there. I'm guessing just spamming my shop links. I'd have to look at what it is that exactly that they expect virtual vendors to do, because that part's a little lost on me as far as what they want / expect from virtual vendors. Ben, if you have any insights or clarification on that, let me know, because like I'm stumped. I will do my best to be present for CyberCon. The thing about CyberCon though is that in order to be a virtual vendor, you have to be like logged in as a page moderator for CyberCon or an event moderator for CyberCon so that you have access to some of the behind the scenes stuff. And I keep getting notifications because of that setup. Like I'll go to Facebook to like update my personal page, and suddenly I'll see like 20 plus notifications on the same day, all pertaining to the CyberCon page. And I'm like, God, this is a lot. Is Wrathicon also streaming on Facebook? I think so. I'll forward you the email that they sent, because the email that they sent offers more clarification on it. No, wait. They're going to be live streaming on their website, because Wrathicon actually has a website. As I understand it, virtual vendors are expected to stream on their Facebook page while cross-promoting on the CyberCon main page. I hate getting all those notifications. So do I. It's so obnoxious. I'd have to look into how to stream on like, is this streaming on the artist's page or is this streaming on CyberCon's page? That I have to look into. Because I don't mind streaming on Facebook. In fact, StreamYard actually has that. StreamYard is the software that I am using right now to live stream. StreamYard does have the ability to stream directly on Facebook. If I had the paid subscription option, I would be able to stream onto both platforms. But I have the free version, so it's one or the other for me. Live streaming on the artist page. Their panel option was for using the main page. I see. Okay. Yeah, I didn't sign up on CyberCon to be a panelist. I just signed up to be a virtual vendor, so that's good to know. Okay. In that case, I will look at the Rathacon page and see if there is any way that I can stream for both Rathacon and CyberCon at the same time. If not, then I should be able to like schedule around each of them. That's the nice thing about virtual conventions, is that you can do multiple shows at the same time as long as you schedule it right. Okay, I'm gonna leave this link up for a hot minute more. Happy Cat-urday! Yes, happy Cat-urday. Chris, I don't know if you caught the beginning part of this live stream, but I was just giving an update on how Scarlett was doing. Long story short, she's getting better. If anybody on the live stream watching now would like to help contribute towards paying for special food for Scarlett to help her kidneys out, you can go to coffee.com/KelseyDCrawford or paypal.me/KelseyCrawford, and you can give a donation there. Proceeds will help cover the cost of cat food to help Scarlett, because she's going to need to make a switch to a new cat food because she's showing signs of early kidney failure, and there is a cat food that exists out there to, if not cure it, at least slow it down so that it can, give her a little bit of a longer life. Yeah, glad Scarlett is on the mend. Me too. She's going to get better. Right now she's on an anti-vomiting medication so that she can actually hold food down and gain weight back, because when I took her into the vet, I could feel her hip bones and her chest bones, which was not normal, because she had been throwing up for several days. But she's on anti-vomiting medication. She's actually holding food down, and she's slowly but surely getting her energy back, which is good. Yeah, everybody greeting each other in the comments section. I love it. Oh. Okay, I gotta fix up this face. This face is bothering me. Okay. There we go. All right, I got a good general face shape for Autumn here. I am drawing my friend Travis's cat, Autumn. She was as far as I understand it, she is a rescue cat. I don't know the full context for the story. He told it to me once and then I forgot it. All right, let me see how to break down her face here. Oh, I see. Okay. Most of the fur around the edges here is just, her fat. I'm so used to dealing with like skinny kitties. Let's see here. All right, a little triangle nose, little snoot. There we go, that's a bit better. I will say some of the cutest things about seeing the pictures of Autumn that Travis sends me is mostly Autumn, the cat here, failing her stealth checks, as people would say in Dungeons and Dragons speak, because she'll think that it's a brilliant idea to hide under the kitchen mat, but you can tell that she's under there because it's lumpy, and you can see her tail poking out from the bottom. All right, let's see. This is okay. This is already looking much better to me. And I know she's got little whiskers around her eyebrows. Okay. The collar is going to be just that little bit narrower. She's a bit of a chunky cat. She's also a calico, so it's going to be fun coloring her in. There we go. That is a much better cat face to me. Oh, her eyes, though, not going to have that big of pupils. Probably one of my favorite like artist jokes that I've seen was on Tumblr, where it's like somebody made the comment of, "Oh, I'm going to draw this alien really menacing. I'm going to give them slit eyes." And another artist is like, "Oh, man, this particular alien with slit eyes, whenever they get really excited, they're going to look high as fuck." Because cats' pupils dilate like into big saucers in either one of two conditions, either when it's dark inside of a room or when they're in play mode. Yeah. Just checking in on the comments section. We're all good. There, that's much better. Okay. That's the pencil layer. I'm going to add a little bit more detail to the sink, just to indicate that she is sitting in a sink. Zoom in a little bit so that I can draw this faucet better. What was that? Hold on, I think Scarlett's getting into something that she shouldn't. Oh, there she is. What were you doing, Megan? Okay, we're good. I heard a cabinet door closing. That's why I was a little suspicious. Okay. I'm actually going to extend this out a little bit more. Oddly enough, Scarlett and Bree Bree never took to laying in kitchen sinks or in bathroom sinks. Like, they avoid sinks.
Are you okay? Lem Lem?
Scarlett's fur is sticking up on end. Poor baby. I think Scarlett, on top of dealing with what she's dealing with, I think she has allergies. Anytime that it comes to spring and she grooms herself, her fur just stands on end. I love the expression. Thank you! Yay! Oh, I love this kitty face way more. It's also the expression that Autumn had, or close to the expression that Autumn had in the reference photo that I was using for this particular piece. Okay, so we got that. Okay, and everything else about the sink is like superficial and doesn't need to draw any attention. So just the line there to indicate the edge there. You know what? Since this is the pencil layer and it's not the final inks or colors, I can do this. Make it just a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay, now if I were to use, I'm going to do a thing. Hold on. This is something that I picked up when I did photography, because the first summer that I worked at Cedar Point, I not only did caricatures, I also worked at the photo booth, or not the photo booth, but like at Front Gate Photo. That's the word. So I would be one of those people at the front of Cedar Point that would be like, "Hi, welcome to Cedar Point. Can I take your photo?" I was one of those obnoxious people the first summer that I worked there. But I did learn a lot about some basic photography tips and tricks while working at that booth, which has helped a lot, surprisingly. One of the tricks that I learned from doing that was this grid thing that I'm showing off right here. The grid technique being that you put a grid over your image that you're working on, and your focal points are going to be where the grid lines intersect. And as long as you have your points of focus on these little intersections, then you're doing good. This is also a good framing device for whenever you're working in film. So, all right. 3 out of the 4 focal points are on the cat, so that works for me. Time for the ink layer. Make that 50% opacity. That way I can tell where my ink lines are laying down. Gonna change up the banner on the bottom. Again, if you would like to help contribute towards covering future vet expenses for Scarlett and Bravery, you can go to coffee.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. I also changed up my offerings for commissions on coffee. I came to the conclusion that Patreon, which I do have a Patreon page here, but I determined that I would start using Patreon more for my art. Coffee would be more for writing, because I do write. I have a blog. I've participated in National Novel Writing Month 2 years in a row now. That's the challenge where you write a 50,000 word novella. You write 50,000 words for a book in a month. That's the NaNoWriMo challenge, or National Novel Writing Month. I do participate in that. I've also, strangely enough, have had patrons on Patreon request from me not artwork, but poetry. And I figured that I would start offering poetry as an offering on coffee for anybody who might be interested in that. Other offerings for commissions on coffee include if you pay $3, it's either 3 or 5, I don't remember which level I put this at, but if you get a particular commission level on coffee, you can ask me a question and I will write a blog post about that topic. I can also write poems, or I can write a 1,500 word short story for you for $10. But that's for if you're interested in written stuff. If you're interested in the art stuff, you can just go to Patreon. If you want to give just once, you can go to PayPal or Coffee. Patreon's more for if you want to make it a recurring thing. You can also give a recurring donation on Coffee, because I have a Coffee Gold membership. So on Coffee, you, the supporter, can give just once, or you can set up your tip to be monthly. It's entirely up to you. So that option is there. So I'll leave that link up on the bottom for a little bit longer. All right, back to drawing the cat. Let's see. Oh, the ink layer. Okay. Sip of tea. My neighbor got a lawn mowing service to come over today. They're obviously not mowing my lawn, but they're mowing hers. I'll need to get a lawn mowing service soon. The grass on my property is too tall. I don't own the house. I'm just renting it for the time being. Oh, wrong color, black. There we go. Oh, update on the moving situation, because I was planning on moving in May. That's still the plan, to move to a new apartment in May. Hoping that I can move by the middle of May. We'll just see how everything goes, play it by ear. I haven't been talking too much about the moving situation because of everything that's been going on right now, and I wasn't entirely sure. God, why can't I get this? Okay, I'll tweak that up later. But I haven't talked about it a whole lot because the moving situation, because of everything going on right now, has been we'll just play it by ear kind of scenario. And that's still the case, mostly, is we'll just play it by ear and we'll see how everything goes. I thought there was a cat that jumped up onto Beefy McMuscleton, my printer that sits at my feet. But it was just an audio trick of the ears. I am going to need to replace Beefy McMuscleton soon. Because Beefy McMuscleton, that's the name of my printer scanner machine. I need to get a replacement for Beefy McMuscleton because he is no longer as beefy as he could be, unfortunately. But to be fair, I got him back in 2013. So the fact that he lasted 7 years is like, dang, that's old by printer standards. Old by blank standards reminds me of, because I shouldn't be too surprised that Scarlett is showing signs of kidney failure because she will be 14 next month. That's old by cat standards. My little sister, Kia, adopted a older cat when she lived out in Arizona. And this cat lived to the age of 16 before she died, which is old by cat standards. Because most cats don't live to like 16 years old. There are some cats that don't even live up to 14. So the fact that my girls have lived to the age of 14, or they will be 14 next month, is something worth celebrating. I should celebrate and get them a cat tree. I've been thinking about getting them a cat tree because I don't think they've ever had one. I'm not sure they would know what to do with themselves if they got a cat tree. I will need to take Bree Bree to the vet though, because it's been a while since she's had a checkup, and her mouth is smelling really bad. I'm a bit concerned that she might have a rotten tooth, and I need to get her a checkup to see if that is in fact the case. I need to zoom in on the eyes here. There we go. This is much better. Okay. Yay. Just wait until I start coloring the calico patterns. Then it'll all start piecing together nicely. Because right now she just looks like the adult version of Marie, the white kitten from the Aristocats at the moment. But once I add color to this thing, yeah, it'll start clicking into place. I've never had much success with cat trees, but I had a pair of super picky cats. That's the thing about cats, is that unless you introduce things to them at a fairly early age, they won't really know what to do with it as they get older. Because, I mean, it can come across as being super picky, but cats are very much creatures of habit, which is why they have such good short-term memory. Because short-term memory is where habit formations happen. I remember trying to introduce a very typical cat toy. The kind of cat toy that's just a circle tube type of thing. Looks like a donut, and there's a ball that runs around the perimeter of the donut. Usually kittens are like all over that. And I tried introducing that particular toy to the girls, and the girls had like no idea what to do with it because they had never played with one of those when they were kittens. When they were kittens, usually we were the toys. Like my sisters and I would be the ones to play with them, or they would play with laser pointers or string, lots and lots of string. So I think because of that, there's just some toys that they're like, what? And then there are other toys that they're just all over. There's one toy that Bree Bree loves and hates at the same time, because she will play with this thing. She will engage with this thing. But sometimes she will engage with it and then she will try to run away from it. It's one of those toys that, let me change up the link at the bottom here. Okay, there we go. If you would like to help if you would like to help contribute towards taking care of the cats, because Scarlett's going to need to change over to a special medicated food to help with her kidneys. If you would like to help contribute towards the cat food fund, you can go to paypal.me/Kelsey Crawford and give a donation that way. But with Scarlet and Bree Bree, Bree Bree in particular will play with this toy. It's okay, for people who are into BDSM, it looks like a freaking like crop, but the end of it is not leather. The end of it is glittery paper, almost like shredded Christmas paper, because I found it in the Christmas toy section because there were Christmas themed cat toys. But it's got glittery paper and red and green feathers. Thankfully, the feathers are soft enough and small enough that Bravery's not scared of them. There was another feathered toy that I tried to introduce to the girls, and Bravery was terrified of it because the feather on the toy that I tried to introduce before, the feather was like this long. And it was like almost half the size of Bravery, and Bravery didn't know what to do with it. So she was absolutely terrified of that particular toy. So this new kind of Christmassy toy, or new, it's new, the newest toy in the lineup for them, and I got it like months ago. But since I got that particular toy, I'm amazed that Bree Bree's even engaged with it, because I thought that she would be afraid of all feathered toys. But no, she's only afraid of feathers that are like half the size of her body. Bravery is my mouser. She is the cat who will catch mice. And I've seen her do it before. I've seen her do it multiple times, actually. Scarlet, I love her. Grace bless her. I want her to live a long and healthy life. She can't catch mice. Like, I don't know what it is, but Scarlet cannot catch mice to save her life. She will run after them. She will chase them, but she cannot catch them. I discovered after visiting a friend's house that part of the reason that Scarlet is unsuccessful in catching mice is because she chases after things like a dog does. Because my friend who I was visiting at the time has a Shiba Inu. Shiba Inus are little asshole dogs. But this one got a little bit more training and was a little bit less of an asshole, but still asshole dog. But this dog would chase after laser pointers. And as this dog chased after laser pointers, I watched this dog and I realized, oh, Scarlet chases after laser pointers like a dog does. Because both Scarlet and this Shiba Inu will chase after laser pointers, but they will like smack both of their front paws in front of them and try to like kill the laser pointer with their upper body, but they won't chase after it like a normal cat. Or as normal to a cat as you can get, I guess. There's no such thing as a normal cat, in my opinion. All cats are their own particular thing. My girls are also very neurotic. I had posted an update on Facebook to let folks who helped with the vet bill. I had made a post on Facebook just to let them know how Scarlet was doing, and also to show that yes, Scarlet and Bree Bree are being fed, because I gave them wet food. I've been giving them wet food for the last couple of days. Because they're getting old, I think it's about time that they switch over to a wet food diet rather than just entirely dry food. Okay, this works. Just checking. I might be a little bit lazy and do okay. New layer. Floral wallpaper pattern. Okay, there we go. That works. Thankfully, Clip Studio Paint has flower brushes to make that step a little bit easier. And cut that out. Here we go.
Yeah.
Get that floral pattern done. And
Oh, hi, Bree.
Bree Bree just jumped up onto the jumped up onto Beefy McMuscleton, which tells me she wants to get into my lap.
Baby. Baby. Hey. Oh. Hi, baby.
This is Bree Bree. This is Scarlett's sister. The two of them get along okay. What tickled me pink was the day that Scarlett came back from having all those tests done. I was fully expecting Bree Bree to like throw a hissy fit and try to get into a fight with Scarlett, because when one cat goes to the vet, the other gets really, really grumpy. And I've had that happen before where Scarlett will go to the vet and then Bree Bree will try to pick a fight. But that didn't happen last week. I think probably because Bree Bree could tell that something was off with Scarlett.
Pretty kitty.
Yes, Bree Bree is a cutie patoot. She is a cute patoot. You can see her okay. Trying to prop my foot up a little bit so that you can better see her face. But yeah, Bree Bree didn't try to pick a fight with Scarlett when Scarlett came back from the vet a couple of days ago, and I'm very proud of her for that. That's one reason why I gave Bree Bree wet food alongside Scarlett. I gave Scarlett wet food so that she could eat her anti-vomiting medication. Usually wet food is a treat for both cats, because their usual diet is just dry kibble. But I gave them wet food on Thursday because Scarlett survived the vet and she needed some wet food to take with her medicine. And Bree Bree got wet food because she was a good kitty and didn't try to pick a fight with Scarlett. So that's good. Now, the two of them have been really good since Scarlett came back from the vet, which is very surprising. I feel like they've mellowed out a little bit with age. Bree Bree, though, was a little bit of a butt this morning because I was doing a work meeting with Never Ending, the company that I've been working with for the little while. And Bree Bree kept interrupting the meeting by pawing at the door out in the hallway. And then I would go and chase after her, and then I would play with her a little bit, and then I would sit back down to get back to the meeting, and then Bree Bree would get right back to pawing at the door, meowing and wondering where I was, like she was lost, because she does that, little booger. But now she's calmed down, and now she just wants pets and cuddles. So, little booger. Little booger. But she needs to go to the vet too. She hasn't been to the vet for a few years. She just needs to have a checkup. But I also want to get her mouth checked out because her breath is rank. And a cat's breath really shouldn't be rank. I'm hoping that there's not a rotten tooth up there. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Scarlett did have a little bit of a tartar buildup in her mouth, but no rotten teeth or anything. But tartar buildup can be pretty easily addressed, I think, with cats. All right, back to the drawing board. Let's see. Got the floral wallpaper, got that. Okay, I think we are at the point where I can add color. No, let me see something actually. I'm going to adjust the eyes and their placements.
Hi.
When I sit at the desk, Bree likes to shove her face into my arm, especially if I'm not petting her. I think that could work. Just there we go. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now I can start adding the colors. Oh, actually, before I do colors, I like to shade my piece first. Like, I like to add the shadows first before I start adding colors, just so I can flush out the depth. Okay, just changing up the links that play at the bottom here. There is my website if you would like to check out my stuff. I'm actually going to be doing a new blog post series starting next week, Writing for Comics 101. Just drinking some tea, help my throat. But I'm going to be doing a blog post series. It'll update once a week on Fridays for 4 weeks, not counting the introductory post. With the introductory posts, it's 5 weeks. But for 5 weeks on my blog, along the bottom of the screen here, I'll be doing a segment called Writing for Comics 101. It'll update on Fridays. And this is for people who consider themselves like good comic artists, but don't know how to write. If there's one thing that I've discovered in talking with frustrated comic artists or people who got into comics and then left, it is that they don't really know how to write a story. So I'm hoping that with this blog post series, I can help those people or even help aspiring comic creators who want to get into the business understand how to write stories and what makes a good story. And the blog post series is going to cover things like why cool character design will not save you. Why cool character design is not enough. That's something I've noticed in some aspiring comic creators, is that they think, oh, cool character design, instant success, which no, absolutely not. I'm going to try a new technique when it comes to putting in shadows. Brighten that up a little bit. Because usually I use a different brush when putting in shadows, but this time I'm going to opt for using this pencil tool that I drew the pencil layer with. Because it's nice and it's soft and it's also textured, which will hopefully help with the fur a little bit more so that this looks a little less like plastic. That's something that admittedly I struggle with sometimes when it comes to digital art, is making art that looks less like plastic and more like an actual illustration. I signed up for a digital painting course that was free, and then I promptly did not participate in it. To be fair, though, this past week with the vet visits and everything has been absolutely stressful. And having to take pets to the vet is an endeavor in and of itself, especially if you have to deal with Scarlet. Scarlet does not like the vet, and she does not like to be contained. She handled herself better than I thought she would. I expected her to be crying and growling the entire time that she was in the carrier. She didn't do either of those things. She trembled. She absolutely trembled, but she didn't growl. She didn't hiss. She just looked confused more than anything else, which that I can deal with that. I can deal with that with cats, is dealing with their confusion. With Scarlet, the best that I could do was open up the cage a little bit so that I could give her reassuring pettings. And on Tuesday, I was able to give her treats to be like, oh, you're being so good. Here, have a treat. The Thursday appointment, she could not have any food in the lead up to the appointment because of the procedures that they wanted to do. And also the gabapentin. When animals are on gabapentin, you really don't want them to I don't think you really want them to eat a whole bunch of food if they're on gabapentin. Because gabapentin is the animal equivalent of morphine, is my understanding of it. So you want to be mindful of how much you eat, if you eat at all, when you're on gabapentin/morphine. Oh, I think Scarlet wants in my lap, but Bree Bree's already in my lap, so she can't be in it. I mentioned moving before and talking about my cats. There will be a blog post going up on my website, kelseydcrawford.com, because I'm doing a little blog post series called Adventures in Moving. And on Tuesday, the Adventures in Moving update will deal with moving with cats. Because I have some updates and thoughts on the subject. Because moving with cats is a challenge in and of itself. I mean, moving to a new home when you have pets is already tricky, but especially with cats. Because cats are very much, like I said, creatures of habit. And not only that, they're pretty territorial. They can get, depending on the cat, they can be aggressively territorial. They have a turf. They like their turf. They don't like it when other animals encroach on their turf. But also, cats are, believe it or not, they are animals that respect space to a degree. Not always. Because cats are the same kind of animals that will gladly shove their butt in your face if they like you. That in cat speak is hey, I trust you. I trust that I can be vulnerable around you, so I'm going to be vulnerable around you, and I'm going to show off my butt so that you can protect my butt. That's kind of what that is with cats. If they show you their butt, that's them being like, hey, I trust you to protect my butt. So, today you learned. But whenever a cat is sitting on the other end of the room and they're staring at you and they're slow blinking at you, that's not, there are people who are like, that's the cat plotting your demise. No, No, the cat's not plotting your demise. The cat is slow blinking at you because when they slow blink, that's them, that's cat speak for I trust you, I like you. When they're on the opposite side of the room and they slow blink at you, that's them saying, hey, I want to watch over and take care of you, but I'm giving you space. I was on gabapentin for a while. It wasn't fun, but I can see how it would make a good sedative for animals. Yes. The vet prescribed gabapentin for Scarlet because Scarlet, when she went to the vet on Tuesday, she was getting really, really fear aggressive. Like when they tried to get a blood sample from her, they even tried resorting to putting a muzzle on her and she just would not allow it. So they just bundled her up into a little burrito, put her back into the carrier, and they said, hey, we couldn't get a blood test, so we're just going to give you gabapentin, give this to her the night before our next appointment and the morning of the next appointment. And that should get her sedated enough that we can do these tests. We moved to the Portland, Oregon area from Georgia with a kitty, 6-hour flight. Kitty didn't particularly appreciate that trip. No, I don't imagine that she would. Thankfully, the move that I have in mind is not going to involve a plane, but it will involve a car. The cats don't particularly like the car because it's very rumbly and noisy, and they don't like the sound of car engines very much. It startles them. But yeah. Oh, wow. Never thought about flying with a cat companion. Have taken long drives with some. So was my older sister. When my older sister, she actually lived in this house with us with her 3 cats. Back when she had only 3 cats. Now she has like 9. But she had 3 cats at the time. She lived with us at the time. And then she packed up and she moved to Arizona because at the time her and Justin had just bought a house in Arizona and they were preparing to move there. So she traveled across the country multiple days with 3 cats. The air pressure changes have to hurt their tiny eardrums. It has to. Like the recommendation for people to deal with the air pressure is to just chew on gum. So how would the cats deal with that though? Like, or even dogs. There was one flight that I got on once where this person had a companion dog. And I'm wondering how in the heck that dog dealt with the air pressure change. I couldn't do the drive. Fibromyalgia makes long car trips very hard for me. Ow. I'm sorry about that. I can't really do long car trips anymore either. I used to be able to, but with my tailbone being the way that it is, because I broke it back in 8th grade, and now I can't really sit for long periods of time without my back or my butt being like, I'm just going to seize into this position and stay in this position for the rest of the day, which doesn't help. So like not the same as fibromyalgia, not the same at all by any stretch, but like I understand being in pain and sitting with that pain for long periods of time. I can get it on that level. So like, ow, that hurts. I feel for you. Woof, that is hard. My phone keeps vibrating. I'm just gonna, bear with me, I'm checking notifications here. Oh, okay. It's family drama. Don't worry about it. Oh, messages from Travis, though. That's who I'm drawing the cat commission for, is I'm drawing this for my friend Travis. He says, oh, yay! He doesn't have to go to work tomorrow. Oh, yeah, because I think, isn't tomorrow Easter? Dating this live stream. Ooh, for future watchers. Wait, I just realized the cat pun. You're welcome. If there is any one thing I'm good at, it is puns. Ah, goodness. Okay. had to have my tea. Woof. There we go. Getting this link back up again. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna actually I want to fix this up a little bit because I shaded this a little, not wrong, but differently. I'm just checking the face shape of Autumn, the cat that I am drawing here, because there is a curvature to the face. There we go. That's a bit better. Hold on a sec. Nope, that was not what I wanted. Cancel. There we go. And okay. Okay. I was just flipping the canvas to see if it would pass the mirror test, and it kind of hasn't. So I'm going to just do a little bit more touching up around here. I think that'll do it. I think. Yeah, there we go. Cool. By the way, how would y'all feel if I started up a Twitch channel? Because I've been thinking about, this thought occurred to me today. I'm thinking about getting on the Twitch and live streaming either Kingdom Hearts 3 or Spyro the Reignited trilogy. Those are the only two PS4 games that I have. But I figured with everybody live streaming and everything, and live streaming video games is something that I have been thinking about off and on for a while. But let me know what you think, because I've been thinking about getting into it. I don't entirely know how to go about plugging the systems in or anything like that, but that is a great pun. I love it. Get thee to a punnery. I especially love that because that's a good Shakespeare callback too, because that's from Hamlet. So your father has good taste in that regard. Oh my gosh, that is delightful. Okay, anyway, back to the cat. Okay, so I got the shading on the cat. I'm gonna get the shading in the bowl. I think the fanciest bathroom that I had ever seen in my life was when I stayed at UMACon in, God, I think 2016, I think it was. But back in 2016, I think it was, I went to UMACon one year and I was staying with my buddies Natasha, Caitlin, Brittany. There was another Chloe, because I know two Chloes now. And I think one other person, but I can't remember the other person off the top of my head anymore. But there was like 4 or 5 other people there. And it was at the MGM Grand, because I remember there was a casino on the bottom floor. And I remember thinking, I don't get the appeal of casinos the instant that I saw it. Because up to that point, I had never seen a casino in person. And then I saw a casino in person and I went, I don't understand the appeal at all. But okay. But we went upstairs and Natasha and the others were saying like, oh man, we need to record Kelsey's reaction to this hotel room because it is going to be hilarious. And I'm like, okay. And then lo and behold, they recorded it and then they posted it on Facebook, and it has become like one of the most popular videos that my friend Natasha ever posted. Because the entire video is just me walking around this apartment screaming, "What?" at everything, because it's so freaking fancy. Because there is just so much about it. There was a bathtub that could fit like 3 people inside of it. There was a television over the sink, a big screen television on top of that. And there was a telephone in the stall with the toilet. There was a telephone in there, because apparently it's important that you call up somebody as you take the biggest deuce in the fanciest hotel room that you ever stay in. Like, that's important, I guess. People with money weird me out. Like, their priorities are just so weird to me. You want to see some puns? This drawing is beautiful and very interesting. Personally, I don't watch live streams very often. You 3 are the exception. Oh, well, thank you. Live streaming games on Twitch is pretty easy to do, actually. Big thing I'll warn you about, though, is that Twitch doesn't save replays for very long until you're an affiliate, so download them. That's good to know, actually, because I did not know that. I quite like casinos, which is why I tend to avoid them. Yeah, because you don't want to spend your money all in one place. That's just a bad idea. Like I said, I don't really get the appeal. They're very bright. They're very noisy. If I wanted to gamble with money, I would just go into the investment market, because playing with investments to me is very much like playing the casino, especially now. But I'm not going to get too much into that and why it is that I think that way. God, my phone is blowing up. I don't want to know what's going on. I'm not going to get too much into it, but there's been just some family stuff going on. Not like oh God, somebody is dying, but like oh God, this person whom we haven't heard from for like 2 years is suddenly wanting to reconnect because he's afraid he's going to die. So that's been a challenge to deal with, on top of Scarlet having to go to the vet twice in 1 week. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready for this week to end. I'm ready to I've been ready to go to bed. I have been so ready to go to bed. I'm just tired. No, I'm fine, guys. Things are getting better. It's just, God, this week has been rough. All right, shadows are pretty well done with. I think now is a hi, Bree. She's pacing around on top of BP McMuscleton like she wants to get up on my lap again.
Do you want to get up on my lap again? Yum, yum, yum.
She was doing that for a hot second, which is why I did the num 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 back.
Come here. Want my lap?
I don't normally wear sweaters when it's bright and sunny out, but it's snowing in Ohio in April. I don't know why it's snowing in Ohio in April, but it is. I don't like it. Okay. Now for the colors. Okay, I think I have an idea of how to do this particular color. Boop, there we go. Okay. So I got the shades. Okay. I'm dealing with a calico cat here, so the colors are going to be a difference. just occurred to me that I've been using this pencil tool for a good chunk of the illustration, but that's okay because it gets me the texture that I want. And the texture that I want is more of a softer, almost fur-like kind of a roughness to it. Let's see. Oh, I think it's the cutest thing when calicos have one ear that's like mostly one color, but then the tip of it is a different color. I think that is so cute. Okay. Trying to get the curvature of her face a little bit. The three predominating colors on this cat are a like dark brown, almost black, a like a creamy tan, and white. Those are the predominating colors on this particular calico cat. Almost like a tortoise shell cat, almost, but not quite. A little bit more up here, and then a little bit more over here. Here we go. Okay. Here, okay. Her shoulder over here is mostly this color. We'll just do this. And then her other paw over here is kind of a mottled version. I actually should get the tan color first and then do the blacks. So let me just get the tan here. Bree, you need to make a commitment. Either get in my lap or okay, you can do that too. What I don't get is why are people surprised when it snows in Ohio in April? You know what? Maybe because people in Ohio are hopeful that weather will actually do what it's supposed to do and that spring will actually happen in April, because that would be nice. That's probably what it is. More than anything, it's just the expectation of maybe this year Ohio will actually cooperate and act like spring in April and not snow. That said, there was one time, story time. This was when I went to the Navajo reservation out in New Mexico / Arizona years ago. This was 2011 that this happened, but it was May. It was the beginning of May. We went out west. We went to the desert, and we were out there for 2.5, almost 3 weeks. And during the last part of the trip, right when it was shifting from beginning of May to middle of May, it snowed in Arizona in May. And we were like, why the frick is there snow in May? And the answer is because in that particular part of Arizona on the Navajo reservation, they're in the mountains. Mountains will snow any time of the year. Mountains don't give a shit. That is why it snowed in May. I'm just going to show off that. Yes, I have a Bree Bree in my lap. Yeah. She's back in my lap. You would think that I would have Scarlet trying to hop into my lap more often than not this live stream, but I'm giving Scarlet her space. Scarlet just wants to sit in the sun and watch the birds and rest, and I don't blame her. She's had a very rough week, like I have. So I'm going to give her the space that she wants and needs and just let her be. In the meantime, Bravery is all over my lap. All over. Yeah.
Arch baby.
And of course, she's shedding. Because it's spring, they're shedding their winter coats. So cat hair everywhere.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I mentioned before in this live stream that with the two cats, Bree Bree always loved me. Or pretty much always loved me. Even when she was a kitten, she always preferred me. Probably because I didn't give her medicine when she was a kitten. When Bree Bree was little, when we adopted her from our neighbors, when she was, I don't know, 4 weeks old, she wasn't even 6 weeks old, but she had a respiratory infection. And you could tell she had a respiratory infection because anytime that she breathed out of her nose, she sounded like a kazoo. And she would try to hide because she didn't like her medicine. And we kept the kitties quarantined in Kia's room. So when it came to medicine giving time, we would go into Kia's room and we would be like, where's Bree Bree? We can't find Bree Bree. Wait, everybody be quiet for a minute. And then we would just wait. And then we would hear, and we'd be like, aha, there she is. Because when Bree Bree like breathed out of her nose, because cats are nose breathers. When she would breathe out of her nose when she was a kitten, she sounded like a kazoo because of the respiratory infection. But because she had an infection when she was a kitten, we would have to pick her up and we would have to give her medicine through her mouth. And no, not through her mouth. It was through her nose. But she hated getting medicine. But it would almost always be Kia who would give her the medicine. So she learned to not like Kia very much, but she loved me because I didn't give her medicine. Because I didn't do that. I think the other thing too is just I have such a sedentary work style that she just jumps into my lap whenever she wants to because I'm sitting already. She might as well take advantage of the open lap that's right there, you know?
Isn't that right, baby?
All right. Now I gotta get this color of the fur figured out because Bree Bree's realistically not gonna go anyplace. If she does, it's gonna be off my lap. Now let me get this tan color. I think there. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, tail flicker.
Oh, I need to set this to, there we go. When it comes to working in colors, I like to set the color layers to multiply rather than normal, because then that way the line art will actually pop. When Bree feels like I'm not petting her enough, she will angrily flick her tail. Okay, so Autumn's, at least the individual digits on the paw are white, but the actual like paw itself is not completely white. She just had little white toesies. Not like Scarlet or Bravery. Scarlet and Bravery are solid color kitties. I have to scoot for now. Happy to see you and Scarlet, and a good day to Jessica, Ben, and Solar, and anyone else who might be watching. Have a good day. Well, it was good to see you, CB. Thank you for joining us for a little bit. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you who are still sticking around, thank you for sticking around. We are getting close to the end of this commission piece here. We're also approaching the end of the live stream in general, because this live stream will end right around 3 o'clock today. But we're making good progress, even with the number of times that Bree Bree has jumped into my lap and interrupted the workflow. For most days, whenever I'm working, I, keep in mind that Bree Bree's going to jump into my lap. I try to plan for that. A lot of people in quarantine are trying to deal with working around with their own kids. I have always dealt with having to work with cats in the house. Oh, is it around the, yeah, it's mostly around the eye, but there's a little white around there that, yeah. Here we go.
Oh, Bree Bree, your tail flicker. I'm petting you. Off screen, but I'm petting you. You don't need to angrily flick your tail. I'm giving you loves.
I mentioned before, I'm just tired. It has been a long week. I'm ready for this week to end. Let's see here. Okay. Now this cat Autumn, her back is mostly this like dark brown black color. So what I will do then is just broad stroke it.
Bree, do you have heartburn?
She burps on occasion. I don't know if cats are supposed to burp. Excuse me. Down to the last part of my tea. Okay. Back to this. Okay. Just going to adjust that. I can see the belly. The belly is also, surprisingly, mostly black, dark brown. Yeah, I'm aware that I'm talking really quietly. Sorry, guys. My throat is just killing me.
Bree, What's with the tail flickers? What's with the tail flickers? Silly goober.
Yeah, showing that shading layer is what helps pull the rest of this illustration together, I think. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Let me get the get this here. Yeah. Now I can add the little kind of spots. The arm is freckled mostly. Let's see. Am I missing anything else around the face or the chest? Oh, oh, I don't want to change colors yet. I want to get done with the fur first before I do anything else for this particular piece. The pencil setting that I'm working with in particular is a really soft color. Okay. Got a little bit of a striped effect going on her back here. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now to get her back leg, which is actually mostly tan. Get the broad strokes down.
Bree, I know you want pettins and I know you want lovins.
Your angry tail flicks have been registered. Scarlet's just napping in the sun, but she's doing better. I just had to go stand on my head to figure out what my arms would do if I were hanging upside down. The things we do for our art. I get that. What did you learn? Elbows go up past the ears and forward. Working on a freelance project and have to draw a guy stuck in an overturned vehicle. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Oh. Speaking of arms and things, I just have to stretch. Excuse me a sec. Oh, ow. Oh, my back. There is this link I found a while back that's like chair yoga to help with this kind of thing, but like, oof. I would love to trade places with a cat for a day and nap in the sun. I get that. Why not just do that on a day off though? Like, I personally make it a point to have Sundays be my day off, and odds are pretty high that it's going to be a sunny day tomorrow, so I might as well just nap in the sun, because why not? Just pull a cat for a hot day. But yeah, I agree with you, Ben. The things that we do for our art, I've definitely done stuff like that before. Not necessarily like standing on my hands. I haven't had to do that yet, but I have had to do some very weird poses. And thankfully, the China hutch that's like right behind me has mirrors situated on the back of it, so I don't necessarily have to get up half the time to do particular arm poses or hand poses if I need a handy reference in that regard. But there have been times where I have gotten up and I've done some weird stuff to get those sweet, sweet reference images. Okay, for coloring autumn here, I'm just going to have an undercoat of this color here, and then I will put the dark brown, almost black on top of it. That should work. Oh, there we go. Okay. I've also just been obsessed with cats for the last week. Not just the animal cats, but also Lindsay Ellis released a video talking about the musical Cats and its recent god-awful movie adaptation. And the actual video essay itself is like absolutely fascinating. Highly recommend that you watch it. But like, it was that video that actually made me look up Cats, the stage musical clips. And I can kind of get why people like the stage musical. I will say, seeing the stage clips made me realize how much I like theater and how much I miss theater. I was actually really involved in the theater stuff when I was in college. Like, a lot of the friends that I still keep in touch with were people that I met through Theta Alpha Phi, which was the theater fraternity that was on campus. I did a lot of theater stuff, mostly in the form of Shakespeare shorts, because I participated in some Shakespeare shorts. I even played Romeo in a Shakespeare short for Romeo and Juliet, but it was Star Wars themed. So it was the scene where Romeo and Tybalt have their fight, and I was playing Romeo. A friend of mine was playing Tybalt, and the way that it was played was Romeo was a Jedi, Tybalt was a Sith, and we were lightsaber fighting, and there was like choreography and everything, and it was amazing. So much fun to do. But that, and then I also did the "What a Piece of Work is Man" speech from Hamlet, which, by the way, that was a great speech. There's actually a segment of it that has been somewhat lost to history because it's the line, "In action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god." That particular section, there is a segment of it that's actually been lost to the ages because there are scholars who think that there was actually punctuation in there somewhere, but the original documents lost that punctuation, so they couldn't quite figure out where the punctuation was supposed to go. That's why that particular line reads a little awkwardly. So if you've ever wondered, if you're a Shakespeare nerd and you've wondered that sort of thing, now you know that's why. But yeah, I was involved with theater stuff, and I did a lot of Shakespeare stuff. I also just watched a lot of theater programs when I was an undergrad. Part of it was because of the learning community that I was a part of called the Arts Village. If you were a resident in this particular learning community, you had to see so many theater productions, go to so many art show openings, see so many film viewings, and do so many classes as part of the I want to say curricula, but that's not quite the right word. But there were classes that were like part of your requisite programs that were available to take in the same building that the Arts Village was situated. So, which came in handy because the school was situated up near the Toledo area, and they would get lake effect snow. So that did mean that if you were a fan of classes getting canceled and you signed up for classes through the Arts Village, odds were pretty high that your class would not get canceled because it was held in the same building as the residence hall was. But other than that, like, it was really fun to be part of this learning community. It also exposed me to a lot of really cool films. It also exposed me to Isao Takahata, the other half of Studio Ghibli. Oddly enough, a lot of his films are licensed by Disney, but there are going to be some of them that will not be dubbed or see translations in the United States because the one that I'm thinking of is, I want to say it's called Only Yesterday, but it's about a woman thinking on her past growing up as a young pubescent teenager, and then her revisiting this like rural area that she grew up in. So like the film is like two different timelines. It's her in her pubescent years and then her as an adult thinking back on those years. And there is a segment that talks about periods. And that particular segment is why the Disney company will never dub this and why it will never see the light of day here in the United States, because it deals with periods in a very, honestly, in a very like, this is how kids handle it, and it's not gracefully. It's a very good film if you ever find a way to watch it. Realistically, though, I think the only way that you will be able to watch it is by going to like anime clubs on college campuses, or just making friends with an anime nerd. Because odds are pretty high that the anime nerd in your life that you know may have a copy of this in some way. Okay. Get a little bit more cream right around here. And a little bit more around here. Yeah. Yeah, look at that calico cat. Yeah. There's some white around her face, and there's there's more cream around this part here. So let's just touch that up a little bit more. I'm just going to touch this up a little bit more too, so that there's a little bit less white around the face, and then there's more like cream color there. Yeah. I'm going to change up the banners here for a hot second. Oh, there we go. If you'd like to continue to support my work, anybody who is watching currently or watching this later on after it gets posted as a regular old video, you can support me here on Ko-fi or on patreon.com/KelseyD Crawford or paypal.me. There's options. Oh, but Space Wizards rampaging across the galaxy is totally cool for Disney to profit off of. I know! Priorities, I guess. Oh, I don't know. Disney is like, they've been making really stupid decisions, but I'm not going to get too much into that. I will say, if you want to find even more reasons to not like the Disney company, Google what they've been doing to their interns because of the coronavirus. Oh, that will definitely rile you up if you want to find even more reasons to not like the company. Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of not kind of. I pretty much stopped supporting the Disney company. Like I've stopped watching their movies. I've stopped watching Marvel like way back. I think the last Marvel movie that I saw in theaters was Captain America Civil War. No, not even Civil War. The really stupid one where Winter Soldier. I was like, the really stupid one where it was revealed that Hydra infiltrated the American government. Which feelings, have a lot of feelings. But that was the last Marvel movie that I saw in theaters. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm good on Marvel movies. No, it was Avengers Ultron. I saw that one, and then I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, Ragnarok was fun, but I feel like it was fun because they brought on a completely different director onto that project who was just like, you know what? I'm just going to make this my own thing. Why they incorporated Planet Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, I'm not entirely sure, but they did. I don't know. Marvel makes weird creative decisions. But that was the last Marvel movie that I saw. And then I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I've pretty much seen all that there is to see with regards to the Marvel movies. I do really want to see Birds of Prey. The GIFs that I have seen of the action sequences, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I need to see this. And I need to see this. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tim Kushida, I appreciate that you are engaging in the comments section. However, we're going to need to not make this political. Birds of Prey was awesome. Oh my God. I have heard good things. I really need to see it. I don't usually watch DC movies, but oh, yes. Gotta go stretch my own back for a bit. Rock on, my dude, and never stop drawing. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to wrap this up here soon, too, because I need to stretch out my own back, because, oh, God. So, I feel you there, Ben. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's just change up the links on the bottom here. There we go. Okay. But, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Tim. I don't mean to be, like, overly rude with your comment. It's just... I'm happy to engage about politics outside of live streams. Like, I will happily talk politics whenever I'm not working. The thing, though, is that right now, even though I'm talking at the screen, I consider this work. I don't like to talk about politics when I'm on the clock. So keep that in mind as I work. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just stating something that I feel like more artists need to be in control of. This is something that really bothered me when I worked at Cedar Point, was there would be people who would try to engage with me on political talk while I was on the clock. And I'm like, I can't talk about that. I am working. And that even continues into, like, or at least it did continue. Convention season has been effectively canceled for a good chunk of the year. But when convention season was happening for the last couple of years, I would have to, like, shut down political conversations because I'm like, I'm working. I can't talk about this when I'm behind the table trying to showcase my comic stuff and trying to sell you my work. Like, I will talk about this with you off the clock, but I will not talk about this with you on the clock. And I've been really adamant about that. And most people have been really respectful of that. And I appreciate that. I just wish that more people would understand that. Because trust me, I have opinions. I would just rather not state them. Not while I'm working anyway. Off the clock, I will talk about this with you all damn day, but not while I'm working. Okay. Well, I got this pretty much solidly down. Awesome. Or at least I got the fur pretty solidly down. Okay, it is 3 o'clock. I feel like DC is the redheaded stepchild of the movie world. People churn out to these movies in droves, but they tear them apart. I get that. I get that hard. I will say, it seems like with the release of Birds of Prey that I think with Birds of Prey, people are starting to realize that, oh, DC is now fully embracing that they want to start doing their own thing. I think there for a while, a lot of people were looking at DC and being like, oh, they're just trying to copy Marvel. But now DC is like doing their own thing, and I really appreciate that. I didn't think it'd be taboo since had a political podcast. I get that. Again, context is everything. When it comes to political podcasts, totally makes sense. I did a punk podcast with a friend of mine, and we would sometimes talk about politics. And there was actually a little segment in the podcast where I would talk about politics almost exclusively, but that's because that's punk. Punk does a lot of just political stuff. I'm a huge wrestling fan, but I don't watch WWE because they aren't what I like. You know, I have a friend of mine that could probably talk to you for days about wrestling stuff. I don't know much about wrestling. All I know is this hand gesture, and then you like reach out to people and you go 2 streets. That's all I know. That's all I know, and I don't know the full context of that. I also know who the New Day is, but largely because of the memes. Also because I'm slowly getting back into anime, and I know the New Day makes references to anime stuff. This has been another fun stream. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I hope Scarlett gets better soon. I hope that Scarlett does get better too. Right now, she's just napping out in the sun. She's getting better. We'll figure out her food situation soon. I need to get in touch with my sisters and ask them what the particular brand of cat food is that's good for elderly cats and their kidneys. Such a food does exist. I know my sister had gotten it once before. Yeah. I'm going to be making some follow-ups to check the facts and stuff. The point is I don't watch what I know I'm going to complain about. I get that. I get that a lot. Well, I mean, I get that hard. I'm very cautious with what it is that I watch or read anymore nowadays, because I'm really picky. Now that I've written so many comics and I work as much as I do, and I write as much as I do, and I draw as much as I do, I've gotten really, really picky about what it is that I read or watch or just engage with. There's just a lot that, like, if I start reading it and people try to tell me, oh, but once you get past the first couple of episodes, it gets really, really good. I'm like, if it doesn't get me by a particular point, and if I don't feel engaged with it, I'm not going to waste my time on this thing. I don't want a property that's like you have to sit and watch it for 2 hours before it starts to get good and you start feeling engaged with it. I don't want that. I don't have the time for that shit. I would rather engage with something that gets me right away, you know? Like, but that's my preference. But that's a conversation for a whole different day. zooming out a little bit so that you can see what's been done so far. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here, or I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. I'm going to finish this piece here shortly. And yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for joining. If you would like to help support my cat Scarlet in making sure that she gets the food that she needs to help her kidneys out, you can go to paypal.me/Kelsey Crawford or coffee.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. I'll bring the PayPal link back up again. But only if you have the financial means to do so. Like if you're broke, don't worry about it. But if you want to help out and you're broke, you can just share this video with peeps. Excuse me. Because shares help more than you think that they do. But if you have the financial means to, and you would like to help support Scarlet getting better, here's my PayPal link if you would like to help support that. Other than that, I'm going to just get back to working on comics. You can find the comics and blog posts that I do on my website, kelseydcrawford.com. Everything that I do is linked on there. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. There will be another live stream next week, I think. Next week is CyberCon. More info will be on my Facebook page, which you'll find linked on my website here. But yeah, I will be doing CyberCon next weekend. That might fiddle with the live stream schedule. We'll see. Just keep an eye on the blog and on Facebook for further updates on that. So that's it for now. I'm going to get some more tea. Thank you for watching and for your support. You are awesome.